Howdy y'all, Kevin here with the weekly Cigar and Whiskey Talk. This is not going to cover anything that's necessarily happened in the last week or so. Smoking a Alec Bradley Black Market Punk today that I've already unwrapped. And truth be told, I already smoked a couple of puffs off of it while I was getting ready to set this up. Gonna drink a little Angel's Envy today. Get my cup where I can pour without pouring in my lap. That'll get me through the talk. Angel's Envy. Good stuff. Oh, man. Been thinking over the last really couple of years, stuff that's been going on. I've come to the conclusion, I didn't just come to this conclusion, I've thought it for quite a few years now. Most of the big major problems we see that make the news and so on and so forth, and the solutions to problems, are major metro area kind of things. And I've probably talked about this before, but I was listening to a thing where they were talking to our president about some things. And I believe they were probably talking about gas prices. I just kind of tuned into it by accident because I would never tune into that on purpose. But basically, I think they were talking to him about gas prices, and his solution was just use mass transportation. That's all well and good. I live in a rural area outside of town. I'm not even in city limits anywhere. And I'm nowhere close to city limits. I'm probably about 6 miles from city limits, the closest one. So I'm kind of curious what mass transportation I'm supposed to use. We don't have buses. We don't have trains. We don't have taxis. We don't have any of that stuff. So I don't know how that's a problem. How that's a solution. Because even if most of us had that available, and oh, by the way, to those of you who think all this stuff is easy, and these solutions are, oh, it's easy, just drive an electric car. Oh, it's easy, just use wind power. Oh, it's easy, just use solar. Oh, it's easy, just use mass transportation. Most of us don't live in those areas. Most of us live out here in flyover country where you're flying from city to city to city. And most of us don't have that stuff available. Oh, and by the way, even if it was available, it wouldn't be effective and it wouldn't be efficient. Can you imagine a bus line in a rural area that had to drive 15 miles to for 1,000 passengers to have access to it? No, would never work. Would never work. Sorry. Better not get fired up. Might say something that'll get me kicked off the YouTube. You know. Riots? We don't have riots out here. About the only place that had any kind of thing going on in my state, when all the riots, all the peaceful protests that they were burning stuff and breaking into buildings and turning over cars and all those kind of things, all those peaceful protests. That didn't happen where I live. In my state, it happened in the major metro areas. You know, where the cigar went out. It's wrong. You know, major metro areas where the majority of Democrats, liberals live. The reason they don't live out where I live is because they'd never make it out here, because we don't tolerate that kind of nonsense. And most rural areas don't tolerate that kind of nonsense. I dare you to go to some farmer's house and, in protest of something that happened 15 states away, start burning his grain silos down. I want you to try that and see how that'd work. I don't think it's going to work out well for you. And the problem with most of this is the major metro dwellers, they have no concept of what goes on outside those major metro areas. They have no concept of it being 7 miles to the grocery store and actually being 7 miles to the grocery store. You know, we can't walk out of our house and walk a block down and grab a grocery store. We can't walk out of our house and walk a block down and get a train station. We can't do any of those things, and most of us live that way. Remember what they said in Ghostbusters? There are approximately 2 million miserable assholes living in the metro area. Yeah, that's what it is. I understand y'all like to be miserable. I understand y'all like to have a whole bunch of rules and regulations and things imposed on you. Stand here, don't stand there. If you stand here, we'll give you a ticket. Don't walk here, don't walk there. Even if you own this house, you got to get a parking permit to park in front of it. To those of you who are advocates of clean energy, that's fine. Most of you live in metro areas. Put the windmills and solar farms right next to your house. Oh, they won't fit. I took a drive out west here, a couple of years ago, and there was nothing prettier than driving out in those big plains and seeing friggin' windmills, half of them not even spinning, for miles upon miles upon miles. That was much more pleasant to look at than the mountains. Much more pleasant. Thank you. All right, little channel news. I spent this last weekend at the Old School Survival Boot Camp over in MacArthur, Ohio, right outside of MacArthur. Had a good crowd, a lot of great people. Saw some folks there that I know. Saw some new folks there that I hadn't met before face to face. Met some new folks that I'd never heard of or seen before. It was a really good event. This is our second event. And we liked the area so much. We went over and scouted that area out last year for our gathering, which I probably shouldn't be talking about this on a Cigar and Whiskey Talk, but I'm going anyway. Our gathering is going to be there this year, July 7th to 10th. Make sure you use my link to get your tickets. There are only 50 tickets left, last I heard. Link is in the description. I'm supposed to say stuff like that on YouTube, aren't I? Like that. Make sure you like and smash that notification bell. Subscribe, all that stuff. Do whatever you want. I'd appreciate it if you use my link to sign up, though, along with glasses and buying gear and all that kind of stuff. Because YouTube doesn't give me any money, so I'd kind of like to make a little money somewhere. It's not important. Everybody ascribes way too much value to money. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. The boot camp was really good. I was there representing a company that I won't say on a Cigar and Whiskey Talk. Y'all know who it is. Had a sales booth set up. Sales went really well. I was set up right next to Jay Hercules, Possum House Soft Goods. I've known Jay for a few years now, mostly from the gathering, and Jay's a great guy. He was selling some good stuff. Madison over at Bombproof Bushcraft was on the other side. Bombproof Bushcraft. That's not what it sounded like I said the first time. Was over on the other side of me. It was a good time. Good time. So, with that being said, I'll keep this shorter than normal. And I don't want to hate metro areas, but I do. And not just because there's too damn many people there. Because they've got this philosophy of we're the only one who can solve all these problems and everybody should live exactly like us when almost no one does. It used to be I didn't hate anyone or anything. Maybe I'm just getting cantankerous in my own old age because it's not necessarily hate. It's one of those more like disdain. Look that up. Let's see. Channel shout out. Let's do a channel shout out. Who do I want you to go watch? Hooks Outdoors. Spent a lot of time with Chris this last weekend. So run over to Hooks Outdoors. Check his channel out. He's got some pretty good videos over there. Watched a few of them. Chris, if you're watching, big howdy. Hope to see you at the gathering or whenever. That's about it. Hope to see y'all in the woods. Follow the link to spring. Get yourself a Salty Dog coffee mug. Don't do that if you don't want to. And I will see y'all in the woods or at one of these events or at a class or just running around. Talk to y'all later. Bye.